Hey guys, back streaming again, working on the wiring project. Suffice it to say, I didn't make it um, to the other event with this. In fact, I wasn't able to go at all, fortunately because of work. So, a bit of an update. I've gone ahead and got this fully base coated. One thing I did goof on, and I'm a little annoyed at myself, is on the dark gray sort of bands that go around here. I should have done those first, so we'll have to uh, basically mask that area off and go in and add it. Right now, though, we're gonna um, do some of the tubing up on the upper surface area. For that, I'm going to be using some color red brown as to look at all of the various shots. And I just realized an update stream information. Sorry about that. Just need to update that real quick. But yeah, all the shots I've seen of the Y-wing on the plumbing area in the upper part of it have been sort of a red-brown, rusty color. And granted, a couple of those also showed it as black, but I'm going to go with the red-brown color as that seems to be a little more common. Now, a bit of a pro tip I've found is, to use these dish pans as sort of pallets, as because of Teflon, the paint does not stick and makes cleaning up really easy. I already put a little bit of thinner in here just to get the flow a little smoother. Now, that off, and now we'll just go in and start painting. Now, one nice thing about the Mr. Color paints is that because they're lacquer based, they will tend to dry pretty quickly. So by the time I finish this, parts that I did first will be, for the most part, dried. Apologies if this does not appear the best on camera. I'm trying to work very carefully, because I'm only trying to get the areas I want painted without going overboard. I'll have to come back and touch up that little splotch. I'm going to hold off doing all the touch-up work till totally finish getting all the areas we need to pick out in detail. Grab a little more. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get these pipes. And once we get that done, what I think we'll do next is get the little R2 unit. Now, in that regard, we do have plenty of liberty and artistic license over there, so I think I will go with his a green R2 unit. If only just for the reasoning that I like the color. we go. I'll get that one just about done. It's all just a matter of very carefully working. It doesn't hurt to freshen up the thinner and all that. Okay, let's get this long guy. I actually think the paint's getting a little too thin, so I'll grab a little more. It's starting to be a little runny. So yeah, that ultimately is some of the trick as it is, or you want to have your paint thin enough that you don't have a big goopy mess, but at the same time you don't want it so thin that that it just runs everywhere. It looks like I got a little bit of a hair or something here, so I'm going to try and very carefully get that off. There we go. Okay. I'll pull some of this thinner over. Okay. Almost got it done on this one. Obviously, once we finish painting and get everything done, this will all get a nice ink wash, and all the little details will very nicely get picked out. Okay, so that center one's called done. Pick up a hair on the brush as well. There we go. There we go. All right. But no, definitely these things are, if you can find something similar, it's definitely worth every penny you spend on it, as you'll basically use it the rest of your life, as since it's metal, it cleans up very easily. Now you just drop in a little thinner, and you're good to go, and just wipe it out. Right? Trying to very carefully do this. And it looks like I caught that bit a little wide. It's okay. It's easy enough to clean up. I think I will do once all this is fully dry is give it a little bit of a dry brushing with a mixture of this and a little more red to give it a little bit more of a rust color. And a second. Yeah, because I have the rod only sort of friction fitted in. It's starting to come a little loose. Oh, it's missing this guy. Now, one thing you notice, hopefully on camera, is that I'm not just dabbing my brush in, I'm sort of rolling it in paint. That way it gets, nice and fully covered and helps protect the bristles a little. Now, if you're just taking it straight from the jar, yeah, go ahead and dip. Because ultimately you're not going to hurt it just by dip it in like that. Notice the area I missed on the other pipe. Okay. All right. Come on. Here we go. All right. Now we just have this one last guy, and then we move on to doing a little touch-up. This is actually drawing a little darker than I thought it would, so we'll definitely have to come back in and give it a little dry brushing to make it a little more red. There we go. Cool. Alright, spots. I'll go ahead and grab on that one. There we go. Okay, now let's go back to our first guy. I know I see a little spot that I missed. Hopefully I've got this. Yeah, that's pretty well centered on camera. And as I was saying, since the paint's a lacquer base, it dries very quickly, so it does take a little more getting used to if you're brush painting with it. You definitely want to make sure you use a thinner that has a retarder in it, because that'll definitely help with ensuring you've got plenty of work time. Okay, almost got this color done. It's just a matter of finding all the little details. I'm going to turn on another light, because unfortunately the sun's setting. So that does make it a little more difficult to work around. Okay. Just simply due to the fact that for this we really do need a lot more light. And yeah, at this point we can just sort of, as we find little missed areas, just go in and touch them up. Okay. You want to just keep moving it so as to give you as many angles, as that'll definitely help you find areas you missed. At least that's what I found to be useful. Okay. Alright, one last area, I think. I think we will be good. Nope, found another. Yeah, like I said, the more you move it in around, the more you're going to find the areas you missed. Granted, some of this will get blended in when we do the wash, as that'll help fill in any areas we might have missed close to where the molding hits the surface. That's ultimately the hardest part to get. Okay. Alright, I think we got that done. So yeah, you know, see the details really starting to pop out. 1 second, I gotta get this guy back in, because I definitely don't want him pulling out the cabling. So, okay, got that done. So give me about that long to go clean these brushes and clean this thing, and I will be right back with, excuse me, the next color, so that then we can continue on and do the R2 unit. So be right back in a second. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Had to go grab next color. So for this, we're just going to be using good old-fashioned, just plain green. Now, let me get this nice and well shook up. And knock the camera a little getting out. Go. Now, for this, I'm just going to be dipping because we're only going to be using a little bit. Okay. Okay, that off. All right. So thankfully they a little less on my brush. They did mold it. Oh, shit. Well, I'll have to come in and fix that. All right. As I was trying to say, they did mold on the sort of little panels on the head of the R2 unit. It does make it a little easier to paint. At least you have some idea of what you're trying to hit. Fortunately, I think this brush might not be as good as I thought it was. I'm just trying to very carefully hit the panel, and just the panel, so I can tell that one of the panels I'm going to have to come back in and touch up. But that's one thing you should come to expect with hand brushing is any painting really is, should already plan and expect to do some touch-up painting. And, you know, fast approaching point where I'm probably going to have to get another light on this. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to turn on another light to try and prove the situation. Okay, that's a little better. It should hopefully get us through this. And I'm also going to try and use a combination of my hand and the table to help brace this and steady it. Freshen the paint up a little. The last little panel. There we go. Quick little touch up. There. Okay, so we got that done now. Unfortunately, you will have to come back and do a little touching up, but that's easy enough to do. I'm just going to take some tissue and wipe the brush off for this instant moment until I can bring it back down and clean it properly. So, next step is we're going to need to obviously do a little bit of masking. So, obviously, first and foremost, we're going to need to get the bands around the engines. And that, fortunately, is not super difficult to do. So it would have been easier had I remembered they needed doing in the first place. This is going to be tricky simply because I'm trying to latch onto this edge and then on the other side repeat the process. So this is just going to be a lot of slow going and just trying to very carefully mask off what we need. Obviously, we can touch up anything we miss after. Come on, grabbed it too high. Get off there. There we go. Yeah, we can obviously do any touching up we need after we paint it, because there should only be a couple small areas that need touching up. Okay. Now, I had thought about also hand brushing these areas at first, after I realized the mistake, but, well, yeah, actually, I think I will. Yeah, you know what? I think I will hand brush those areas, because this is going to take forever to do, and it's probably not going to look great, so I think I will just hand brush them, as ultimately that's going to be easier and probably look nicer. So, again, going to give me 2 seconds to go swap out the paint and get that loaded up. Okay, we're back. Sorry, that took a minute or two longer than I thought it would. And yeah, so for the dark gray, I had originally planned to go with this number 13 Mr. Color neutral gray, but as I was going for it, I saw the 305 gray, basically the gray you see on like Strike Eagles. It said that looked a little better. Yeah, in this particular batch, I think I thinned down a little already. So yeah, it should more than definitely work for our purposes. Just let me cap this, and we'll get the painting. Okay. Now, thankfully, much like the other areas, there are raised details that do help provide a bit of a guiding line. Only issue is going to be making sure we get this straight. Thankfully, since we're already going to have to do some touching up elsewhere, I'm not as concerned. But honestly, the less we need to do touch-up wise, the better. Alright. Just this. Again, just trying to go slow and steady. Now, there's no rush in this. Anytime you're brush painting, it's better just to go slow and do it right the first time. And try to avoid any unnecessary cleanup. Okay. On to the next band. Yeah, I definitely think this particular chair is a little thinned already. So I'm basically having to knock off a lot of paint. And very carefully go in. So yeah, we'll probably have to do 2 coats. And definitely by the time we make our way fully around and come back to this side from doing the other engine, it'll be plenty dry. Okay, this is where things get a little interesting, simply due to the fact that I am a righty, so and the rod in the way does not help. Just very, very slow and methodical. I need to both make sure I'm in the areas I need to hit while trying to avoid the areas I don't. Okay. This is very gingerly coming in here. Now, since this is ridged, the fact that the paint is thinner does make it a little easier to ensure proper coverage in the low areas, but it does make in the high areas a bit harder. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting, as this side one is going to be a bear. Make sure I'm not touching it. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm hitting it. Oh, yeah, this is definitely not a fun area to be doing. Okay. So I basically have to try and keep it in such a manner that I have the light I need, but at the same time have it so I can actually see and get it. Oh yeah, this is definitely a challenging thing to paint, but fortunately there's not much I can do in that regard. Okay, coming around. Honestly, any areas that aren't quite perfect, we can come in and touch up on the way back. Okay, so got the first one done. It's a little bit of touch-up work, but all things considered, not terrible. Alright, on the next one. Yep, still in frame. So one of the challenges of streaming this stuff is always making sure I've got it in frame so you can see it. As it's not, it kind of defeats the purpose. I almost got this one. Hey, I almost got that one damn near straight. Now what we will do once this is fully dried and set up, I'll come back in and put a little bit of masking tape in and touch up the light gray areas. Alright, now this time I think what we'll do is tack that the bad side first. That way you can have it fully done, as it's pretty well protected. That way you don't have to worry about touching the other areas while it's when we try to paint it. Okay. Ooh. Almost had an accident. Trying to take this off for a second. That should hopefully make it a little easier to work with. That thing does make it easier to both paint and stand up. There we go. That went a lot easier doing it that way. Okay. Next side. But as I was saying earlier, fortunately I wasn't able to make it to the Gunpla event, as it did what I've seen. Probably could have placed, since there were only like 3 entrants in the Star Wars category. Which, it's one of those things that, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, you want to obviously try and win, but when there's next to no one in the category, it does take some of the joy out of it. Some more thinner into the paint. It's starting to set up a little. But one of the big keys to painting is keep moving, and definitely don't be afraid to use a different side of the brush. Okay. A minute. Another challenging part. Got a little on the side. Okay, now we do our touch-up. Looks good now. A couple areas in here that need a little getting. Definitely on this one. Alright. Go back around. And like I was saying before, just keep moving and looking at it from different angles. That'll help you find all the spots you may have missed and need to hit again. And goody, back to hitting this oddball area. Alright, that's good. That. Okay. Now it's just a matter of finding and touching. Thankfully, I guess you could say since the stress of getting this thing done is no longer there, and take a little more time and try to really make her shine. There we go. That was not as bad as I thought it would be. So, give me a second. Get this back on so we can let her sit. Okay. Just gonna quickly clean the brush a little just to get some of the bulk off. Alright. Just do this once over to get some of the paint out. Now that's, like I said, the nice thing about using this is it does make it for a real easy cleanup. Is boom. So if you find like a thrift store or something that has something similar to this, it's a great investment. As I also use it for thinning down putty, as it works great for that as well. So now next challenge. Now, what I think I was thinking maybe paint around sort of mask areas for some details, but I'm thinking I might just stick to the kit decals. And they should work well enough, as it's looking like it might be a little more complicated than I want to do. Not that I couldn't do it, I just not really feeling like doing that on this. So we got that done. So what we need to do right now, however, is obviously let what we painted set up. Actually, I think I see another spot that needs to get touched up in the gray. And I'll do that real quick. But yeah, after this, next step's going to be letting all this sort of set up and get all dry, and then it's just a matter of coming back in, touching up our gray areas, as those are ultimately going to be the ones that need the most. Also, similarly, to come in and do a little dry brushing to get a little more rust color for those pipes on the top. Fortunately, that's something that's going to take a little bit to do. Honestly, I don't want to come in and paint this thing, paint that's even the slightest bit not set up. So, yeah, I think we're going to have to stop here for today, as unfortunately there's not much more we can do. All we can do right now is basically watch paint dry. So, I'm going to call it a day on this guy for now. Don't know when we'll be live streaming him again. I'm hoping to get on and do some more live stream tonight in Minecraft. And yeah, that's sort of where we are right now. But yeah, next time we'll hopefully be able to come in. We'll dry brush the piping area first, get that done, as that's going to need a little bit of dry time. And while that's drying, we'll also come in and touch up some of the areas we goofed up. And that'll sort of be the plan for next time. After that, I'll give it a good gloss, and we'll do decals, let those set for a little bit, and then I'll do the ink wash live stream. And once we do that, that's going to be more or less it, other than obviously doing the final sort of setup. Because yeah, it'll basically be the ink wash, final clear coat, and then obviously hooking up the battery pack, and that's going to take some soldering. That I'm not sure how I'm going to do on camera, or if I even will, just simply due to the complexities involved. So I don't know, we'll see. There's one or two other things on this project need to do, but we're kind of at the end on this guy. So yeah, I figure there'll probably be another 1 or 2 live streams for this project, and then we will be done with it. I already have an idea what we're going to do next. I'm not going to say anything just yet. But yeah, so until next time.